I'm Dane Rose, founder and chairman of Happiness Data, a U.S. 501c3 nonprofit that's focusing on the quality and the science of living, right? How to live a sustainably better life with less time, less natural resources, less money than a conventional lifestyle, a more intelligent life. The project in Costa Rica, Medicina, you can look it up under Medicina CR, Medicina for, and then CR for Costa Rica.org, has been to pioneer a way for somewhere between 70 and 150 people to live a better quality of life. Focusing on art, focusing on in service in areas to contribute back to the world locally and otherwise. And as someone in the construction and land development business for 30 years, I've rarely seen a more beautiful place on earth. The stream, the 600 feet of river, the stillness, the distance from the highway noise, the birds. It's an incredible place. Camping there with my wife and swimming in the river. We've seen wild pigs, a variety of, I think we saw some kind of a black panther. It's just a very interesting, scene filled with wildlife. Now, where the project is at in terms of, this point, where it's been brought to is we've brought power to the land. We've improved the roads to the area. There used to be a very steep section of road which we had moved over 100 tons of soil to lower that down. We've also improved some of the roads and extended the roads on the land. We've had kind of tentative relationships with one of the neighbors, including negotiating a temporary water use of their well. We've gotten quotes of $20,000 to dig a permanent well on the land. And we've brought a shipping container, which was intended as a garden storage and tool shop, and done some initial kind of designs and pioneering for permit-free. This is an important part. In Costa Rica, you can build 25 square meters without a permit. And so we've done a dome design. We've done a dome design where a 15-foot diameter dome with a 13-foot tall ceiling begins with, a flat area and a gravel bed for drainage. Then continues with narrow cinder block walls, the first 7 feet tall, right? And then we have rebar, right, going into the ground, as an anchor. Rebar encircling. Now, what we've been solving are a number of problems. We've got wind noise. We've got the noise of seed pods, branches, and things falling on the roof. We've got cost. We've got drafts. We've got aesthetics. We've got skill of building, right? And and we've got fire, and this solves for all of it, right? It's hurricane-proof with a domed shape. You can't lift up anything. And it's cheaper, it's more soundproof, and it's a much more beautiful shape, and it's more permanent in rebar and cement than it is in wood or some other shape, or tin, which rusts. And then to stay within the limit, the inside is 15 square meters, but the outer porch is not counted as livable space. So we have a large outer porch where basically the dome moves into the porch, and then we have an outdoor shower, toilet, sitting area, and fireplace, all outdoors, so that doubles the space but doesn't count as livable area. It's a magnificent setup. So we've developed some of those designs, looked at some of the technology of building community, and the land can be divided up legally into 50 different 1-acre spots because it's 50 acres. But my thought so far is more to have temporary to permanent residencies on the property. And this is quite important because 95% of all intentional community projects fail to get off the ground. And of those that do, 95% of them fail to live up to the expectations, to the desires of the members. And so and the most common thought is that one or two people were so difficult to work with that everyone else that was good to work with didn't want to be stuck in the bottleneck of having to get agreement with those difficult people. And so it's very important for any kind of a community project to be able to have the legal ability, right, to ask people that might otherwise foil the community's attempts to leave if necessary, right? And so having a long-term or a short-term lease and having certain criteria around living, that's really a lot of the art if it's going in a community direction. Now, having done all of this, I've pivoted the attention of the nonprofit towards the Philippines. I was actually heading towards the Philippines, then the pandemic hit, and Costa Rica had good pandemic protocols. I've got two reasonable attorneys. I think it's worth noting that competency in Costa Rica is about 1/3 of competency in the U.S. And so, I've never had to remind an attorney with multiple emails to do basic things anywhere in the U.S., but that's a good attorney in Costa Rica, someone that you only have to remind 2 or 3 times. And so there are definitely some logistical irritants, which we've explored in various ways, and but the land in the project is in a good position, and because it's owned by a nonprofit, the focus is the land will either be used eventually by myself or will be sold or leased to others with that are having a positive impact on more than just themselves, which is a wonderful accomplishment to have a rich community life with yourself. But the intention of the land is to showcase a better way of living sustainably, beautifully on the environment. And so with that in mind, there are some things that I can do, meaning I can act as a consultant if that's useful for your uses on the land. I have a lot of technical experience, etc. I can also offer a payment plan, providing credit basically to purchase the land that would require a minimum of $15,000 down, $20,000 in the first year, and then $20,000 until paid for. And so, those are some things that, if it's to support, a beautiful vision, that is what that land is used for, and any monies received will be currently allocated towards education, art, sustainable education in the Philippines, and providing a high quality of life for a certain number of people there on land in that area. If nothing promising and exciting and consistent with the nonprofit's mission comes along to use this land in the meantime, then at some point when I meet the right people in the Philippines, I will delegate use of the land for them or come over and develop it myself at that point. So that's a little bit of the project. The water, the landscape, etc. There's now Starlink in Costa Rica, so you've got very good internet, very good power on the land. I know a good local site contractor that can do aspects of that. And the neighbor is a woodworker, a little bit flaky, a little bit greedy, but nice. And can do some woodworking, doors and things like that. So that is a possibility, and it's a nice, asset there. But there's 50 acres at Medicina, and if it's the right fit for you, I wish you well.